Want to make this quick turn effect in Unreal Engine 5 for free? Alright, first download the game animation sample project. Don't worry, it's completely free. And then create a project with it. When it's opened, we're gonna search for the player blueprint with this nice shortcut. Ctrl P to open the content browser. Type sandbox and open the CBP sandbox character. Now in this blueprint, I have more functionality that a blank GASP template doesn't have. But we only need this strafe input, which you can find scrolling down. This input action only activates a mode in which the player can look at any angle without needing to face the camera direction. And I don't really need it, but you can leave it and create a new input action with a different key. The default one for this is R3 for controller and middle mouse button, which is what I'm gonna use. First, we need the wants to walk variable and we connect it to a branch. Oh, and by the way, you can create a branch pressing B and left click. And you can do the same with sequences. Press S and click. But we don't need it now, so just delete it. What we need now is the character movement component, which is right here in the left. Out of it we get the isMovingOnGround boolean and we negate it just by pulling out the not boolean. And by the way, this branch is gonna be completely optional because in my game I don't want to be able to quick turn if I'm jumping or if I'm aiming. So if you don't mind, just skip this branch. If you want to do it my way, just connect that and wants to aim to an OR boolean and then create a branch. Then to avoid problems with other inputs, I just treat it like a traversal action. But it's not really important. Connect it to the branch out of the false pin, and then we are gonna disable the input. Remember to connect to the player controller the node get player controller. After that, we need to get the control rotation and promote it to a variable. Like you can see, I already have the current control rotation and the target one, so I don't really need to repeat the process. I'm gonna delete the new var and I connect the current control rotation. You can call the variable whatever you want. Now we duplicate the get control rotation and we split the struct pin. Out of the yaw value we add 180, which means the degrees that we're gonna turn, and we pull out the make rotator. We connect the rest of the pins and we promote it to a variable, which is gonna be the target control rotation. Again, I don't need it, so I just delete it and connect the target control rotation. Then connect it to play montage, but be sure to select play montage, not play anim montage. Remember to use our mesh. And obviously we need the montage to play, so we're gonna create it. Ctrl P, open the content browser and search for 180 idle. Select this one and right click, browse to asset. And finally, this is an anim sequence, so we need an animation montage. I already have it, but you need to create a new one. Now open it and you can change the blend time, but it doesn't really matter. However, we really need the anim notify. It's like a notification that the montage receives to execute an action. To create it, we right click in the one notify track, we add notify and montage notify. You can rename it or not, just your choice. Now save, close, and we got it. Open the content browser, search for turn idle, and drag your new animation montage to the node. Okay, fuck, I'm so stupid. I need to drag the window down. You can adjust the play rate to whatever you want. if you want it to be faster or slower. Now we create a timeline to make a smooth transition over the time. And double click it. Once it's opened, set the length to 0.2 and add a flow track. Add 2 keys with right click, one at time 0 and value 0, and another one at time 0.2 and value 1. You can select these 2 buttons to see the flow track better. Finally, select the first point and right click, auto. Compile, save, and you can close the timeline. Ooh, my bad. Remember to connect it to play from start, not to the play pin. Out of update, set the control rotation, and remember you need to uncheck context sensitive to see this option. Again, get the player controller. Oops, not this one, just get player controller. Check again context sensitive. The new rotation is going to be a lerp between the current control rotation and the target one. And the alpha is the new track we created in the timeline. Since we disabled the input before, we need to enable it again. Connect it to onNotify begin, because we created the notify, and connect it to uninterrupted and uncompleted, just in case. Oh, and before we need the stop anim montage node, connect it to the enable input, and then with Ctrl pressed, you can drag the pins to the stop anim montage. And finally we set traversal action to false. Compile and save. Alright, we are done checking if we were walking, but we need to check if we are running for the different animation. So we duplicate this branch. Remember, only if you are using it. And then we just want to duplicate everything. And connect it to false. Okay, note from the future. I used the true pin, but it's incorrect. You need to use the false pin. I corrected at the final moments of the video. We check everything, it's correct. But obviously we need to change the montage and create a new one, like we did before. I assigned a slower play rate for this one, but you can change it to whatever you want. Alright, let's create it. Ctrl P and search for run 180. And I already got it, but select this one. Create anim montage. Open it, leave the blend time, and we need to repeat the process and create another anim notify. I wanted to stop the montage at 40 frames, but you can change the values. So again, right click, add notify, montage notify, and change the name if you want. Now save, and we need to search for it and drag it to the node. If you have an asset selected from Content Browser, you can press this left arrow and it automatically selects the one you have clicked. By the way, I made 3 or 4 mistakes we're gonna fix before showing you the final product. In the first branch, we checked if I was walking or running, but we didn't check if I was idle. So we need to pull out the character movement, the velocity, and the vector_0 boolean. Then connect it to an OR and to the branch. Secondly, the false pin instead of the true one from this branch. And I also forgot to connect the player controller to the player controller pin. I connected it to the target and it's wrong. And finally, the starting position of the running animation, it's 0.5. And that's it. I wanted to make a little tutorial because, you know, it doesn't take much time, and I found a way to do this quick turn effect. I think it's so cool and it only takes a few minutes to complete. And yeah, maybe I keep doing some tutorials when I have time, but I'm focused on finishing the second video of my game. I just wanted to leave this here in case anyone finds it helpful. Thanks for watching the video, subscribe, hit the like button, and we'll see you in the next video.